Publishing is not a crime. NYT, The Guardian and more urge Biden admin to drop charges against Assange.
Here's a summary of the article.
Amy Goodman, finally, Carrie Dessel, we just have a minute, but I wanted to ask you about Julian Assange. The New York Times and 4 major European newspapers, The Guardian in Britain, Le Monde in France, Der Spiegel in Germany, El País in Spain, all have urged the Biden administration to drop all charges against the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange. In a joint letter, they said, this indictment sets a dangerous precedent, and threatens to undermine America's First Amendment and the freedom of the press. The letter ends with the words, publishing is not a crime. For those who don't know, Julian Assange faces 175 years in a U.S. prison on espionage and hacking charges for exposing U.S. war crimes in Afghanistan and Iraq, if he's extradited from Britain. The significance of these major newspapers, including the New York Times, demanding the Biden administration drop these charges? Carrie Dessel, yes, I think this letter reflects a clear understanding by the press that the charges against Julian Assange threaten freedom of the press. The prosecution of Assange for soliciting, obtaining and then publishing classified information would set a clear and devastating precedent in the United States that could be applied to any of these organizations' journalists, going forward. Amy Goodman, Carrie Dessel, we want to thank you for being with us, senior staff attorney with the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia and the lead lawyer in the El Faro lawsuit, and Roman Grecia, El Faro English reporter, plaintiffs in that lawsuit against the NSO Group.
This post received a score of 4,700, with an upvote ratio of 87%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The actual indictment is here if you want to read it. Several of the counts relate to the rules of engagement documents given to U.S. forces in Iraq, i.e. telling when and how they can open fire. The indictment argues that those could have been used by enemy forces to more effectively attack American troops.
I hate the narrative that Assange is just a persecuted journalist. He actively buried any leaks that were Russia-related, and selectively released American leaks with the intent to influence an election. He's nothing more than Putin's useful idiot. He spent the last decade cozying up to authoritarians.
He allowed leaked cables to go through, unredacted, that put operatives at risk and/or got them killed. There's still a limit to just reporting. There is still responsibility. Between that and his contradictory behavior when it came to U.S. adversaries, he was not acting as a neutral provider of transparency, but rather an enemy of the state. Compare that to Snowden, who took extra precautions to ensure intel involving individuals who could be put at risk was not revealed.
There is definitely a line between journalism and spying. Where the line is, I don't really think I am qualified to answer. But there is a line and it has to be set very carefully. Both in order to protect national interest but also to protect freedom of the press. I'm sure people far more informed than I will debate this case for another 200 years and whether or not the line was put in the right place.
He was not investigating, he was receiving and relaying, albeit selectively based on geopolitical bias. I don't think you can fit all of that between just spying and journalism. Espionage does seem to fit best, however, given what we know. Not like that. Not recklessly.
Publishing is not a crime, but actively collaborating with the people stealing the data show is. That's called conspiracy and it makes you an accomplice. If WikiLeaks had remained a simple anonymous Dropbox where leakers could send stuff to, he would be fine. The Snowden reporters never got in trouble. Assange was corresponding with Manning while he was plundering classified archives, and he was implicated coordinating with the Russian hackers who hid the DNC. Assange is an arrogant idiot who only has himself to blame for his legal troubles.
In Snowden's case, a big factor was the exercise of editorial control to scrub the information provided of anything that could put people in danger. WikiLeaks release people's social security, medical, banking, and credit information. SCOTUS has constantly ruled for at least the past century that publishing information is only protected so long as the publisher didn't commit crimes obtaining the information. Assange is explicitly accused of committing crimes to obtain some of the info WikiLeaks released.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.